Welcome everyone back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. My name is DFree. Here today, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of my character predictions for the 300 million download celebration. I do want to point out that tonight, there will also be a stream on the official Bandai page for Dokkan Battle. You guys can check that out. Link will be down below. But again, it's going to be at 4 a.m. my time, Pacific time, which means Eastern time at 7 o'clock. It's going to be really early, so do just make sure that you take the precautions, whether you need to take a nap or whatever the case is. But that being said, if you guys are hyped for the 300 million download celebration, do two things for me. First and foremost, let me know in the comment section down below what you want to see the most, whether it's new characters, whether it's new modes, whether it's enhancements to what we already have in the game. Let me know. Also, today's video, like goal, this is ambitious, so I need you guys' help to do it. 3,333 for the 300 million download celebration. Let's make it happen. So again, this will be down below for you guys. Also down below, I will leave this link here from the about a year ago from the 250 million download celebration over on the Dokkan Reddit. You guys can see this. This is not anything to say, oh, this is definitively like what we're getting. But the reason why I wanted to leave this for you guys is, especially if you're a newer player and did not experience this, you can kind of see the amount of content, like events and all of that stuff that we got as part of that celebration. And again, this was just about a year ago to the day, right? So do keep that in mind, and you guys will be able to see this down below. So the most hot button theory that I think a lot of people are obviously kind of leeching off of, and just thinking is going to happen, right? Leeching is not the right word, but thinking is going to happen, long story short, is the Cell and Gohan idea. Long story short with that, the reason why people are thinking that's the case is, for one, we haven't had a Dokkan festival for the SS2 Gohan. That's fine. I would personally be really hyped for that. I know a lot of people probably are not going to be for whatever reason, but that's fine. And again, we'll talk about some more options, trust me. But I just want to explain this. But we also do have the Cell idea too, again, for the dual Dokkan Fest of those two characters. And the reason why is just because we've been kind of producing content following the timeline of the series. We did have the Frieza stuff, and we kind of started there, skipped the Saiyan stuff, but we had the Frieza stuff and Namek stuff right there. We also did have the Android stuff, and then moving on into the Cell stuff. For the record, sometimes people ask me like why I separate them. A lot of media actually does call them Android Saga and then Cell Saga. Like they're kind of different because of the sequence of events. But that being said, we do have those two things. And even like, for example, Legends, which isn't the most definitive thing, even breaks them up like that. But a lot of content does do that in general. But yeah, we do have all of that that's kind of come out, whether it's through events of characters or character releases, excuse me, or like story events. We've had that stuff, and it seems to all be leading up to the most climactic moment of that period of Dragon Ball Z, which would be the fight of Gohan and Cell. So other than that, how I think that could potentially happen is I would personally like it to be a transforming either first or second form, ideally second form, because we did just get this new LR and it would be a waste. But transformation unit for one of those, I wouldn't want it to be a perfect form Cell or a perfect Cell, because that would inhibit these characters' usabilities. But if it's a second form Cell, which is the one that has the least amount of options apparently, if it's a second form Cell, I'm cool with that. Just transforming. It could even be transform into perfect form and then that one transform into perfect Cell. It doesn't really matter. But another thing they could do as far as that's concerned is they can actually use that new Rubrian mechanic, which is just a transformation but no turn requirement. She transforms at the start of the turn instantly. So the second she shows up, whether it's turn 1, 2, or 3, whatever, she shows up and she transforms, right? So that's something that's cool. And the reason why that's cool, though, is because of name variants. Again, this is why the second form Cell thing would be a good idea. Even if that's your base card, doesn't matter, because he'd go ahead and transform automatically. And then she does the same thing, and then you're able to use her and then requisitely Cell or any other characters immediately alongside characters with the same name, and they'd be linkable and stuff like that. So just like you can link Super Gogeta LR when he transforms with the regular Super Gogeta cards, it's the same concept, right? Pretty much all transforming cards can do this. But let's go ahead and take a look at the LRs in the game. Now, for the concept of the video, I'm going to be kind of assuming that we'll get a Dokkan Fest LR or two, right? Whether it's LRs or not, but for this portion of this, I just want to kind of key in on LRs because it'd be cool. Again, we could have dual Dokkan Fest TURs like we normally do, and then afterwards follow up with the legendary banner, right? It's possible. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I would like to kind of point out that when it comes to LRs, a couple of things aren't here. So we don't have... I know that, and this is where things get a little interesting, because they could potentially just save the Gohan Cell stuff, which I think that 100% Gohan Cell is going to happen. Like, it doesn't have to be as part of this celebration, but I think 100%, 150% at some point, that is going to be a dual Dokkan Fest, right? It's a huge missed opportunity that hasn't happened yet. I think it's going to happen regardless of when it is. Let's get that out of the way. They could potentially leapfrog all of that and position us at any point in the series and drop content from anywhere. Also, a hot button topic now is that Global has access to Dragon Ball Heroes. We could potentially be getting Dragon Ball Heroes Dokkan Fests from things ranging from anything in Heroes making their way into Global and JP as Dokkan Fest. And again, this will be happening on both versions of the game at the same time. That's how this works, right? So we'll see what happens with that. But let's move on a little bit into a different part of the timeline of Dragon Ball and go all the way to the end, well, towards the middle portion of the Buu Saga. So we can actually get access to an Ultimate Gohan LR, and then on top of that, Super Buu LR as well. Now, Super Buu can be, I don't know, they can make him transforming into Kid Buu, but regardless, we don't have representation of Majin Buu among all of these LRs in the game. And again, he was the main headlining villain for an entire arc. We should be getting that at some point. It could be Majin Buu and Babidi, I guess. I don't know. Fat Buu and Babidi. I don't know, but it can be something like that. And personally, I would like for it to be a Gohan, but it could also be other units for other characters from that part of the series, right? It could be a Goten and Trunks into Gotenks, an actual transforming cards, not this card that kind of obviously superseded the transformation mechanic. Little things like that. It could be different things, right? We'll see what happens. But I don't think that, again, it's very likely, but I did want to float that as an idea. Now, obviously people are going to think Dragon Ball Heroes, we can do anything with that, so I don't want to go there. But another place I want to go that people have been asking for a very long time, and we actually don't have this technically as represented in the game as individual units, is we're going to take a look at ROG. So ROG has a lot of units. A couple of things that it doesn't have is a standalone Ultra Instinct Goku, right? Well, okay, I'm going to get into this thing. I'm going to get into this again. We have the Omen Goku, and then we have the Ultra Instinct Goku, right? Sign Goku, Ultra Instinct. Also better known as Mastered Ultra Instinct. So we don't have an Ultra Instinct Goku, quote-unquote mastered, as an individual standalone card. Let's point that out. Whether he transforms or not, it's not a big deal, again, because they can be used on the same team outright, and they would be linkable afterwards together. That's, again, a point for transforming units. Also, on a side note, when it comes down to this, we have Jiren, but we do not have a full power Jiren. In fact, the funny thing about that is, if you go and take a look at this is actual art from the Jiren Extreme Z Battle event that came out a bit ago, right? He had a whole Extreme Z Battle event, which means that this character's assets have been created about a year ago, in fact, were created as part of the game, right? This is all available. So they could realistically drop a Jiren and Goku event, right? This is also really cool, and this is where I kind of can kind of utilize different resources for this portion of the video, which will be kind of cool as far as I'm concerned. I hope you guys enjoyed this part of the video. But what we're going to do here is, again, I would love to see an Ultra Instinct Goku and Jiren dual festival. For the record, we haven't. That's a cool sequence of the show, right? I would love to see that happen. But for this part, I'm going to go into a little-known game that's a little bit older than Legends, Buchigiri. So Buchigiri actually just now, in fact, dropped an Ultra Instinct Goku Mastered and Jiren dual celebration, pretty much. So we have the Jiren from he's technically a free unit. He was farmable, but this is a full power Jiren card. So again, there's an idea for this, and we're also going to utilize Buchigiri for another couple of ideas, right? And just for concepts, here's an Ultra Instinct Goku, again, the one that just came out. So there are different things like this that they can actually utilize as far as characters are concerned for a dual celebration on Dokkan. That would be really hype. Now, if you guys saw my video with Rhyme Style a few days ago, we did go ahead and talk about some things that could potentially happen during the 300 million download celebration. By the way, if you want to play Buchigiri, it's pretty fun. The link will be down below to translations and stuff and how to play. But anyways, shameless plug. So that video with Rhyme, we went ahead and talked about just different things that could happen. One of the things that I pointed out was the idea of fusions. And I actually did go ahead and kind of float out that, yeah, Buchigiri is a game that pretty much has perfected the idea of being able to allow cards to combine. Now, obviously, the logistics of Dokkan are a little bit different because you would be in a position where you're stuck with, I don't know, one unit missing, or I don't know. They'd make it work if they wanted to make it work. They'd make it work, right? So we could see what happens. But here's how that concept works from Buchigiri. So, for example, we have this Goten card who is able to fuse with a Trunks card into this Gotenks right here, right? So that is just something generally that can happen, but the way that this is able to happen and able to work, because there is this whole, oh, isn't it illegal to do this and that? Pretty much the loophole is if you have access to free variants, right? Because this Goten, technically there is a Trunks variant that he is supposed to fuse with for optimal results, but there is a free variant, and actually a couple, right? So this Trunks can also fuse with free Gotenks cards, and the Goten cards, and the Goten can fuse with free Trunks cards. So again, this is an idea that doesn't just obviously sit with these characters, but can also be used in terms of Goku and Vegeta cards fusing into other characters, whether it's Vegito or Gogeta, and that also can extend to Heroes as well, with some of the variations of those characters that we have from Heroes. Here's a Goku card that just came out on Buchigiri. Again, he fuses with a Vegeta card that has the fusion attribute into a Gogeta. There also is a Vegeta variant that is able to fuse into Goku cards. And again, fusion attribute means that it's not directly requiring you to summon for 2 cards. As long as they don't only force you to summon for 2 paid cards, right, then you're fine. Here's one more example, right? We have a Potara fusing Vegeta. This card is summonable. The Goku variant is actually a free card. So there's no other variants you can fuse with at the moment for Potara attribute. But again, there are different ways that they can do this type of thing to make it work as far as loopholes are concerned and be able to fuse cards, man. Like another game, this is a official Dragon Ball game. This is not a knockoff or anything like that. Another game has been able to be successful with that idea. So again, just floating out there that is something that I would like to see happen at some point. Or they could do something where they have access to characters linking together and being able to do something special being linked together, right? Just little things like that as far as ideas, and that also can bleed into different types of characters. But finishing out, again, the Goku Jiren thing, I think, is one that a lot of people have wanted for quite a while, and I think that would be a good idea to make its way into the game. But just like the Gohan and Cell thing, I think Goku Jiren is something that has a very, very high chance of happening at some point. You got to understand as well that even if stuff doesn't come right now, that doesn't mean it won't come later, right? And the game obviously has aspirations to last for a while. And I also do want to point out that we're in a period where in just a few months, we're going to be starting to talk about the 5th year anniversary as far as the Japanese version is concerned. And obviously with that would come probably a new Dokkan Festival or Dual Dokkan Fest and stuff like that. So there's just a lot that's going to be coming in the next few months. But as far as 300 million downloads, I hope you guys are as hyped as I am. I hope you guys have left in the comments down below what your ideas are, what you would like to see. If you like to play Buchigiri, you can. Link will be down below. Also, today's video like goal was 3,333 likes. And I'll catch all of you guys later. Me and my friends actually will be on the stream tonight. So, you know, I'll be there, and Truth and Talon, and we'll all be there. So we'll be around. So anyways, see you guys then.